caucus.
Thank you, Representative Boyle. And, one of the things that I remember growing up in Fort Worth, Texas, was, we were blessed to have several manufacturing facilities that were union shops. We had General Dynamics, which is now Lockheed Martin. And when I was growing up, we had about 30,000 employees out there. Bell Helicopter, which is owned by Textron now, lots of employees out there. We had Miller Brewery, which is still there. Now it's, Miller Coors Brewery. We had, several places like General Motors. I think I mentioned a little bit earlier. So we had several places that had good benefits. I had family members that worked at many of those places. Good benefits, good jobs that people could really be proud of. And one of the reasons why we've seen the decline of pay in this country is because the Republicans and their efforts to undermine labor. And when you start talking about undermining labor, and when you turn on these talk radio shows, you turn on the Rush Limbaugh show, you turn on the Mark Levins, you turn on these shows, they're always talking about how bad unions are in this country. But when I think about my own experience growing up in Fort Worth, and I think about towns like White Settlement, towns like Benbrook, the community that I grew up in, and SOP 6 and Como, and I think about the middle class jobs that many of these union shops brought to all communities. Again, whether it was the white community, Hispanic community, black, they allowed people to be able to put some food on the table. And I got to tell you, I was really kind of tickled and shocked at the same time by a article in the opinion section in the Wall Street Journal back on September the 3rd, 2015. It was titled "The Shop Steward in the White House," and it was taking a shot at President Obama for all of the things that he was doing for American workers. And many of the things that the Wall Street guy that wrote the article was complaining about, saying all these things about President Obama, they were all actually really good things that the president was advocating for. My question, and what I want to know, and what I want Rust Belt workers and people all around the country to ask, is this presidency, is this administration going to embody and really embrace those same principles that was talked about President Obama when he was really trying to protect these workers? Or is this president going to do the same thing? Are his partners in the legislative branch here in the House, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, the senators on the other side of the Capitol that are Republicans, are they going to also stop going after American wages, stop going after American workers and their benefits, and start standing up for these workers so they can put some more food on the table? That's what I want to know. Those are the type of questions that we should be asking and that we should be talking about. One of the things in that area, and President Trump, he could put out a statement on this right now if he wanted to, but obviously he has a lot of other things going on. Davis-Bacon Act. Davis-Bacon Act, as many of us know, is the rule that ensures that all federal contractors are paid a fair wage while they're working on public works projects. If there was ever a repeal of Davis-Bacon, we would see a decrease in the quality of blue-collar jobs, and we can absolutely not afford that. Stagnating wages, like I talked a little bit about earlier, it's left workers unable to care for their families. And as a result, 1/3 of blue-collar families are enrolled in one or more social safety net programs. That's not what blue-collar workers want. Blue-collar workers want the ability to be able to take care of their own families. They don't want these social safety net programs. They want to be able to be providers and be proud of their job. The Blue Collar Caucus intends to defend the Davis-Bacon Act and fight any attempts to decrease wages for America's already struggling working class. We know that we can build an economy that works for everybody if we just work together. So work with us as we stand against President Trump's unfulfilled promises and stand up for these blue-collar workers. That's what we want our friends on the other side of the aisle to do. But what I would really like to see right now, even President Trump reaches out to his Republican friends in the legislative branch is I want him to come out and make a statement for these blue-collar workers, for these people in the Rust Belt, for these people in the South, for these people in Dallas, Fort Worth, all over the country. I want him to come out and make a statement on where he stands on Davis-Bacon. It's one thing to just talk in broad categories about bringing jobs back to our country, stopping our jobs from coming overseas. This is a actual policy that we know has been good for many workers in your district and mine, and again, everywhere. Where's the president on this issue? Why is he not saying anything about Davis-Bacon? I want to hear what he has to say. And I know that you know about just how important things like Davis-Bacon are and other issue areas are. Another area is the Supreme Court nominee, Mr. Gorsuch. You know, where's he going to rule when it comes to working families? That's what I want to know. That's the type of thing that I hope that people on the factory floors and shops across this country start talking about, is that how is this man going to rule? We already know that he's made several bad rulings as it relates to working families, rulings that will directly affect how big their paychecks are. Literally has made rulings that have taken money right out of their pockets, right out of their bank accounts. And those are the types of things that we need to be talking about. Not all this 35,000 feet up in the air type stuff, but actual policy details that we know can impact